Well, hello, and we're here to give a review for Candyman, the 2021 version. It was produced by Jordan Peele, I'm sure you all know that name, and it was also helped written by director Nia DaCosta and Win Rosenfeld. I'm going to get right to it because I have a lengthy review on splashreport.com. Hopefully, you just got done reading it. This movie is very poorly written. It doesn't make any sense once we get to the third act, and it's almost like they didn't even care. They just throw caution to the wind. Let me start by saying I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele's work. Get Out was a good movie. It wasn't a horror, but it was a good drama that had some comedy to it. Us wasn't bad. I still didn't feel like it was a horror, but the argument can be made that it was more of a horror film than Get Out was. And then everything comedy after Key and Peele. Didn't love Mad TV. Um, let's start with some good things about it before I totally just tell it like I saw it. Um, Stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I might have mispronounced that, but you'll probably recognize him as Black Manta from Aquaman, as well as Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen series. He was great. And I recently watched an interview where he was pretty inspiring because he was talking about working with Keanu Reeves and seeing him go from this character to that character, from John Wick to Bill and Ted, then back to Neo from The Matrix, even though a couple of those are a little similar. But he was talking about how he wanted to have that same variety in his career, and he saw no reason why he shouldn't. And I'm with him. Outside of Candyman, I've loved everything that I've seen him in. The script just wasn't there. He got to be a little goofy. He got to be humorous. I liked it. He could have been without the hipster wear for the entire film, but he was great. But you can put lipstick on a pig. Um, Teyonah Parris, loved her in the movie. She was a smart character in a horror movie. They broke free of a lot of the stereotypes that people are used to seeing. She made a couple of decisions that I was just like, because I wouldn't have gone down those steps either. Shout out to there's a teenager at one point who's just like, nah, I'm not dying with you guys. I don't want to ruin that whole scene. But it was good. And it got a laugh from everybody, including myself, who was sitting there in the movie like, this isn't a great movie. Okay, she made me laugh. Um, and then lastly, I want to say that, let me make sure I get his name right. Nathan Stewart-Jarrett. Outstanding work. I've been a fan of you since The Misfits. Go watch that on Hulu if you haven't. And watching him go from Curtis to this totally different character, the dude's got range. And he was hilarious. He and Teyonah Parris were the best parts of this movie. I would have included Yahya in that, but his lines kind of sucked. Um, Visually, I think that Nia DaCosta, chef's kiss again. But there's only so much you can do there. And since you helped write it, I don't know. I'm not gonna bash you. I loved some of the visuals. A lot of work with mirrors. I didn't even mind the whole like floating Candyman thing. He doesn't like walk like we were accustomed to in '92, and I don't remember when Farewell to the Flesh came out. But the sound. Every time that the Candyman comes around slashing, it is ridiculously loud. Like Friday the 13th loud turned up another 5 notches type loud. It's distracting. Um, and then let's just get straight to the meat. So the third act was abysmal, and I had shame. Um, One, the hooks kept changing. When they talk about the Candyman in one place, he's got a hook like this, and then when we see the Candyman, he's got a hook like that. But the Candyman from the old Candyman, who is referenced, it was nice of them to bring the lore of the previous movies back. Reboot might have been a little sneaky surprise because it's definitely more of a sequel. It's to a reboot as an interpolation is to an interpolation. Interpolation is to an interpretation. Excuse me. I'm gonna say it. I'm a little tired of heel using the same racial tropes. Like, we get it, and I get it. It made sense in Get Out. And again, that was not a horror movie. And this, they had a couple of jump scares, but this really didn't feel like a horror movie to me. There was some slashing, but at no point did I feel concerned or nervous for any character. No, not one. Um, Get Out wasn't. But the black tropes, I get it. Us, still a little heavy with it, and I'm like, can't you just, because this movie, which I believe was probably written and filmed before George Floyd and a lot of the events that took place during the pandemic last year, but it's still so heavy-handed. And to their credit, yes, even the original Candyman movie in '92 touched on a lot of racial bases. So it's not new. But can we just have one movie where you show absolute creativity without having to tie it into the real world oppression and racism that we all know? Some people just want to escape. And I'm not saying never come back to it. I'm just saying it would be nice to have one movie where he didn't do that. The same way it would be nice to have a movie where Tom Cruise doesn't run. Sometimes you just want to see something different. But I said all that to say, should Jordan Peele just stop making horror movies, or should we just stop calling them horror movies? I would prefer it if we called them dramas. Let me know what you think, and if you saw the movie, let me know if you liked it, if you loved it, if you hated it. I couldn't even stay through the credits because I could not wait to get out of there with what they pulled in the final act. Spoiler alert, so you can stop right here. They basically turn the Candyman into some kind of black anti-hero that we can use to call on during the bad times. And I wasn't there for that at all. I rolled my eyes so hard I had to blow my nose. What? Yeah.